Evening, everyone. This is Lindsay with Just Between Friends, Oakland County. I am coming live to you tonight for our first Consigner 101 party. So what do we do during a Consigner 101 party? Well, we just kind of talk about how the sale is going to be in terms of like what you need to know for sale prep. I'm going to give you guys some instructions and some helpful tips tonight on how to tag various types of items that you're going to be starting to prepare for the sale. And I can also, towards the end of the sale, towards the end of the 101 party tonight, I can give you a little bit of information about what drop-off will look like and shopping the sale will look like. Okay, so here we go. Here we get started. I see one person is already watching. So welcome and thank you to those of you who are here with us tonight. Okay, so we'll start, I guess, by just giving you like a 10,000 foot overview highlight of the sale of how things are going. Things are going great. We are 4.5 weeks out to the sale, and we already have like a lot, like over 200 people signed up. So it's super exciting to see those numbers. We're approaching like 600 tickets sold. So this is really good. And I am very excited to see what happens over the next 2 weeks, because this next 2 weeks is where we see a ton of traction in the sale numbers, especially in the tickets. So we're doing great. So I can confidently say that we are going to have a great spring sale at Oakland Yard Athletics, and I am super excited to see you all in just about a month. If you have not yet started your sale prep, the first thing I want to say to you is don't panic. Like, I don't know if any of you are like nerds like I was in high school, and so you read Douglas Adams' The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. But like, if you're with me and you know that reference and you know what I'm talking about, don't panic. We have over 4 weeks till drop off, right? That is buckets and buckets of time to be able to prepare your stuff. Now, I'm not telling you to wait until the last minute. I'm a planner and I like to have my things taken care of like well in advance, because I don't like stress, right? I will say many people are tagging right up until the last minute. And so I say that to normalize for you wherever you are in your sale prep. If you're somebody who's like already prepping and tagging things, or you've got most of it done, you're a superstar and we all need to learn from you. and most of us probably haven't started yet, and that's okay. So if you're somebody who's new here and you're just getting started, or you haven't started yet, don't feel overwhelmed. Don't feel behind the ball. That's why the first Consigner 101 party didn't even start until today, right? So we're a month out, and this is the first of 3 Consigner 101 parties. So you guys are good. You're all going to be okay, and we're here to help you and to make this the most successful sale that you can. A great successful sale for you that is worth your time and energy to participate in, and that you get to have fun at too, right? So those are all super important things to us. So that being said, sales stats are great. We are 4 weeks out from the sale. From drop off will be, in like 4.5 weeks, right? Drop off will start. And over here, we are getting ready. So this season, there's a handful of things that will be different about our sale. Our drop-off will be a little different. We've learned from our first drop-off that, we survived. We should all get a badge. Like, I survived JBF Oakland County's drop-off. We survived drop-off, and it wasn't a disaster in the fall. It wasn't a disaster, and a lot of people said that was good. That was pretty smooth. And there's a ton of ways it could be better. And so we've been super thoughtful over this last like 12 weeks since our last sale. Can you believe that was only 12 weeks ago? Yeah. And the next one is well, I guess it was closer to like 16 weeks ago. So it's about 4 months ago now. Um, and the next one's only in a month. But I am a very organized person. Like I'm a very like process oriented person. And so for me, I want to see drop off get better and smoother. And so we're investing a lot of time and energy into figuring out that right now. So I want you to know that is something that we're committed to making just a good and easy experience for you guys, right? Like drop off takes a little of your energy. It probably is going to take about 30 minutes for drop off per seller. And we want that to be 30 easy minutes, right? So that's what we're working on right now. And we're going to start helping you make sure that you know how to do all the things. Okay. So I'm going to dive right in to tagging and preparing some items, right? That's like the biggest thing, right? So for those of you who are new and are just getting started, I'm going to step back for a second and I'm going to like use this little paper pad I have here to like lay out or draw out the process. I'm this kind of person, like I'm very visual. So when people are talking to me about things, like I need to like see it. And I realize I only have my pink pen and I don't have my Sharpie marker. So give me like 10 seconds to go grab it out of that drawer over there because you're going to need me to draw in Sharpie for you to be able to see what I'm about to draw. Okay, here I am. So, all right, got a big old notepad here. Okay, and if you are joining us for the first time this season, there are like 5 steps to participating with us in terms of preparing your items. Okay, so step 1 is what we call gather. So I'm going to write these down and then I'm going to show them to you because if I try to like write, and I can't do 2 things at once, right? So, and step 2 we call sort. Okay. Step 3 and 4, I consider them to be exchangeable steps. So I'm just going to draw like a little arrow here. I'm going to draw it this way. Step 3 is going to be price. Step 4 is going to be prep. And then step 5, drop off. Okay. So how do you sell with JBF Oakland County? You just do these 4 things. So gather, sort, price, prep, and drop off. Okay. What that looks like. So let's talk about gather first. So the first thing you do is you are going to pick a room in your house. If you haven't started yet, I say start simple. So pick just one room in your house. Okay. And maybe go through this whole process one time to start. So say it is the toy closet. Let's just say we're going to conquer the toy closet, right? So I get an empty laundry basket and I do this. If you had a weekend, you could do this like all in the course of like a couple hours, but I might, tackle this on the weeknights. I might do 1 or 2 of these things every weeknight, right? So I would grab a laundry basket and I would give myself 15 minutes, like you need to give yourself a deadline so that you don't think about it too much, right? And I would take my laundry basket, go to that toy closet, and I would just real quick pull out all the things that my kids don't play with anymore, that they've outgrown, or things that they just like, if they just have too much. A lot of times my kids end up with just way too much. And so there's toys that they have, but it's unlikely that they're going to play with them, right? And I throw all that stuff in the laundry basket. Step 1, done. Gather. We're going to cross it off. Step 2 is sort. This is an important step. Okay. What do we mean when we say sort? So to participate in JBF Oakland County, we ask you to help us uphold a very high quality for the sale. That's really important because a high quality of goods that we bring to our sale season over season is going to benefit us in the sense of helping us get return shoppers who want to come buy our stuff, right? And that's why you guys are doing this, so that people will buy your stuff. Like Facebook Marketplace is a pain. It takes way too long. It's kind of sketchy most of the time for multiple reasons. Yard sales are inefficient use of your time, right? So you're participating so that people buy your stuff. And for that reason, we say go through and sort your items to make sure that the things that you're spending time preparing for the sale are things that people will buy. For our quality standards, the two main things that are important here are that things be that they meet our quality standards and that they meet our safety standards. So I can't talk and write at the same time. So here we go. So you're going to sort out things that don't meet our high quality standard or our high safety standard. So high quality. All clothes need to be free of stains, tears, rips, holes, damage, excessive use, right? Those are items that we'll say no thank you to, and that would be great as hand-me-downs, play clothes for a friend or neighbor, or if they're worn enough, things that you can put in textile recycling at a place like Simply Recycling, right? Those are those clothing collection bins that actually do textile recycling. For non-clothing items, for toys, it needs to be a toy that has all of its pieces. So for example, if it was like a play food set, we would want to see like all the that play food set. If it was like a puzzle, now I will note for toys, and sometimes even for large items, there are situations where we can make a reasonable case that that a kid could still play with the toy even though there maybe is like one small piece missing. And in those cases, we will make exceptions for you. We ask you to price your item according to those exceptions. If there's a piece missing where you would have gone and purchased it at the store, full price with all the pieces, then we're asking you to, adjust your price to account for the thing that's missing. But an example of that, one of the most common examples I see are like the Fisher-Price rockers and bouncers that have the toy bar, right? So sometimes those toy bars, they're made to be removable, and sometimes people still have the rocker and they no longer have the toy bar. Now, we're not going to say, no, you can't bring that because it doesn't have the toy bar. That would be silly, because that's still a great piece of equipment for a baby. And there's going to be a mom out there who loves it. And we would say, you need to take a little bit off of your price because it's missing the toy bar, right? Another example would be if there's like a toy that isn't really non-functional to play with. And one of the ways I think about that, or that I justify that, is I say to myself, if a if a parent purchased your toy and then they had to go make a second purchase somewhere else of additional items to make your toy complete, to be able to play with it for the kid, and that is not normal for that particular toy, then it's not really a functional toy. So an example would be like if you buy a kitchen, like it's normal to go buy plates and cups and food and all those things to play with the toy kitchen, right? But if like you had like a PJ Masks play set and it's just like the frame and there's no figurines, there's no furniture, there's no like none of the pieces that came with it, I don't think you can usually go buy like all of those like little figurine parts separate. Or if you do, that's not normal. Usually that playset is sold with those things. And so in that case, then you would, sorry, Steven just sent me a text and it like threw me off. In that case, we would say, hey, like that should like have more pieces, right? So, or if it was something where I was like, oh, like, well, they do sell like another PJ Masks playset separate, like that the kid could like, or the mom could buy to go with that toy, but it's going to be an additional expense, then we're going to expect that there's, that toy has a much lower price on it so that the mom who's going to purchase your awesome thing, can actually really use it, right? So we're just trying to be honest and good to people. we really value, we have a bunch of different kind of like core values, I guess, and one of those is that we really value being a community resource for people to purchase items that maybe would be otherwise outside of their budget, and high quality is part of that, right? That's what's going to bring repeat shoppers back in. So Stephen mentions to me that you guys can't read this because the video is mirrored and backwards, and I don't know if I know how to fix that on here. So it might just be what it is. Sorry, I apologize about that. I don't know how to write backwards, so we're not gonna I'm not gonna be able to do that for you tonight. So if anybody has any comments or questions about any of this so far, please go right ahead and let me know. I can see your chat, so I can answer any questions for you. Okay. I will say, whenever you have a question about quality, like if the item, you're just not sure of whether or not you should bring that item to the sale or you should spend time prepping that item, we have a consignor coach. Her name is Jessica, and her job is to help you figure out which items are worth your time to bring to the sale and which ones would be no thank you items. So you can absolutely text or call Jessica to ask her a question, tag her in a Facebook post. Her name and her email and phone number are at the bottom of our emails, and I will make sure that they are also in a comment at the bottom of this video at the end. So anytime you have any questions about whether or not your item should be going to JBF or needs to go as a hand-me-down to another kid or somewhere else, you can always ask Jessica or me or anybody else in the consignor group. Really, we're all here to help you. And part of the beauty of this wonderful group is that we all are in here talking to each other, giving each other feedback and help, right? We're a community, so please feel free and comfortable to ask your questions in the group. The other thing that you have to consider when you're sorting your items is, does the item adhere to our safety standards? So our safety standards are these. We support keeping babies safe, right? So what that means is that if an item is recalled, then we cannot sell it. Actually, legally, we cannot sell any recalled items at JBF. And we have some pretty strict safety standards as concerns small parts. We want, if there's something that has small parts, we have to be careful that we're making sure that it's packaged up properly so that no little kid's going to get it. Drawstrings in clothes is sometimes an issue as a safety concern. The big thing is like anything a baby sits in, lays in, is contained in. Anything a baby is contained in has to achieve all of our safety standards. So that would mean if it's supposed to have straps to strap the baby down, like a high chair, the straps are there. And our quality standards would ask you to make sure that the straps are clean, right? So we love high chairs. People love buying high chairs at JBF, and they're one of those things that often is hard because somebody took the straps off and to wash them or something, and then they never got put back together. And if there aren't straps, we can't sell it because it violates our safety standards. So make sure that the items that you bring to the sale meet our safety standards. On our seller all-in-one place info page, there is a whole chunk at the bottom that's just all about JBF safety standards. And again, these are questions you can ask Jessica, our consignor coach, or myself about. If you have any questions on what items are going to be good items for the JBF sale, reach right out so that we can help you make sure that you're using your time efficiently. Okay, so step 1, you gather. Step 2, you sort. It doesn't take as long as it takes me to talk about it. It's actually not that hard, and I just like to talk way too much. And then steps 3 and 4, price and prep. Okay, and I write an arrow between these because I feel like these are reversible. And I'll tell you, I actually do this the other way. I prep things and then I price them. But basically, the idea is you're going to take your items, you're going to go onto your My JBF Tags account, and you're going to input your items and choose a price that you would like them to to be sold at, right? You're just deciding the price on your items. You're also going to choose on a per item level if you are going to allow your item to be reduced or if you are going to allow your item to be donated at the end of the sale, right? If your items are donated at the end of the sale, you receive charity credit for those items. Our charity partners this year will include, at a minimum, the Moms Club of Lake Orion and Oxford, which is moms offering mom support of Lake Orion and Oxford. They'll be receiving some of our infant items, as well as our major charity partner is the Lighthouse of Pontiac, which we're super excited about. We're going to be able to keep our items that leave our sale as donations locally in our community, and they're going to go directly to people in need and get distributed in the community. So that's very exciting. We'll probably also partner again with Oakland County Foster Closet as well. We partnered with them last season, and I'm expecting that we'll be partnering with them again this season. So, okay, so pricing. You price your item, you decide, is it going to get reduced and is it going to get donated? If you're looking to see if the item is, or if you're going to choose that the item is going to get reduced and donated, I'm going to explain that. Okay. So reduce means if your item has not sold at the point that our sale flips to half off at 2 p.m. on Saturday, then the item can be sold for half the price of your ticket tag. Only of your tag, of your ticket price. Only if you have selected in the system that that item gets reduced. Okay. Items that get reduced, the tag, I'm going to show you one over here. The tag looks like this. Okay. This is a little mud pie onesie. And this is my tag for it. Okay. And there's nothing here except a big white spot, which means that this item is eligible to be reduced. If an item was not eligible to be reduced, then the item would have a star here and it would say full price underneath it, right? Which means even when we flip to the half off sale, this item is going to stay $3. No star. When we flip to the half off sale, this item is $1.50. It's a cute little mud pie onesie, right? It's adorable. It's like a Superman play, I think, right? So that's how reducing and donations work. You click a box for every single one. The default is that they're all clicked for reducing and donate, I think. It might be, I can't remember what the default is, but there's a default and you can change it for every single tag that you enter, okay? We highly recommend that the clothes that you bring, that you put all of them for reducing. If you don't want to donate your items, like I know a lot of consigners will say, you know what, I'd prefer to pick my items up and then donate them to my own charity partner or give them to a friend or something. That's fine. And there's no problem there. And you can certainly keep your items full price if you want to. We know that our sellers who mark items to be reduced always have higher paychecks, right? And so we like to encourage you to think with a mentality of a friend I have in the JBF community. She says this, that my mentality is that my possessions are loosely held and freely given. And because, this sale really does support our community in so many ways, we encourage you to embrace that mentality too. And if your goal is to really clear the clutter and get things out of there, please mark your items to reduce so that you can sell as much as possible. Somebody has a question, so let's see. If we have an item with tags from the store still on them, are we required to take that price tag off? Absolutely not. No. So I don't think I brought it down here, but I was just upstairs trying to gather a few things that I haven't tagged yet. And I have some stuff from my son's from that he just never wore either, right? So if you have items from the store with tags still on them, you do not have to take the tags off. In fact, I would encourage you to keep the tags on because there's an argument to say that your item is worth a little bit more money because it's actually new, right? It's not technically secondhand, it's new, right? And so I would totally keep your tags on. The other benefit of keeping your tags on is that there's a little hole in that tag where you can attach your safety pin, and it like makes it like a perfect and super easy for you to attach your items or your tags to your items. So anyway, reducing and donating, that's how they work. So you're going to log into with my backwards writing, right? I thought this was such a good idea until Stephen told me that. So you're going to log into my JBF tags. You're going to price your item and then determine not if it's lower for JBF Oakland County consigners. I don't know what somebody's asking. You know what? My Restream does this from time to time. It shows me that somebody asked a question, but it doesn't tell me who, so I can't see the context. It just says like Facebook user. So I don't know if that's Steven who answered that or was trying to reply to somebody or something. But just let me know. Give me some clarity. You can even just toss your name in there, and then I can answer you, because I still have not figured out how to make Restream show me the name of the person who's talking to me so that I can answer you directly. Anyway, so that was their question. Do we have to take the tags off? Absolutely not. And I recommend that you keep those tags on those new clothes. So anyway, you price in my JBF tags. Choose whether or not you're going to donate and reduce your items. Okay. And then you're going to get a 9x9 printout of tags. So when you go into your account, you'll make your make your tags. We recommend making them in groups of 9 because 9 is what prints on a page. You check the boxes on those tags, and then your page of tags will print out on cardstock. And you'll cut those tags apart and then start attaching them to your items. And that's where we flow into prep. Okay. Prep is just making sure that your items are packaged and ready for display at the sale. Since our sale is not like a traditional mom-to-mom sale where all of your items stay on a table, instead it's set up like a department store where our shoppers can walk through the department and shop for what they need on a department basis, right? So your items should be prepped and ready to be set up in their areas of the sale that they're going to be into. Okay. I put an arrow between these two because in my brain, I like to like prep everything first. And so I'll actually take like a day and take like 2 hours and I'll prep everything. Like I'll hang every piece of clothing, I'll package up everything that needs to be in a Ziploc bag, so on and so forth. And then the next day I'll come through and I'll price. If your price is the lowest price, then great. Law says lowest price is what they get it for. Somebody give me some context. I think what somebody is asking is if you have okay, I think I understand what you're asking. So, if you have like a price tag from the store, right? And then, you have your JBF Oakland County tag on it. If your price on your tag is higher than the price from the store, I think that's what somebody's asking about happening. That does sometimes happen. People are a little goofy sometimes, and they'll leave a price tag from the store on something, and they'll be asking more for it at JBF than the store was asking for it. So first, store tags don't apply to us, right? Like our price tag is what applies, and we do inspection at drop off for our clothing, which means that your clothing items get inspected while you're still in the building. And if we see skewed pricing like that, where the store price is actually lower than the price on the tag, unfortunately, that will become a no thank you item. We really value that high quality standard, and that's a limiting factor of high quality, right? Is if there are a lot of items on the floor that look like somebody's just trying to, kind of like make a buck. It isn't exactly in line with the spirit of our community. And so for those items, we'll say these are lovely and they're just not appropriate for our sale. And if you want to bring them back next season, priced lower, we would love that. So I think that's what somebody's asking. Let me know if I didn't give you clarity there, if I didn't answer your question there. The answer is basically in the event that you see something from Carter's and the price on the JBF tag is higher than the Carter's tag, it's going to become a no thank you item and it won't be on our floor. So then you prep, which is hanging everything, packaging everything, and then you're just going to organize it and get it ready for drop off. Okay. So these steps, like you can take one night, take an hour or so and do this, and then you can take a couple hours and do this, and you can have a whole toy closet or a whole kids closet done, right? And you can go through your house. You can decide how much you're going to do this sale versus bringing things to our next sale, right? There's always another sale. There's always more stuff in your house too. So don't sweat it if you don't get through everything, because there's always going to be more stuff. That's why we're all tagging to the last minute. You always think, oh, I forgot about the garage. Oh no, I forgot about that closet, right? So there's always more stuff. And you're welcome to tag right up until drop off. And I think having a system really helps to take a lot of the stress out of it. So that's how our process works. That's our very in-depth overview, walking you through this step by step. So now I'm going to show you actually how to tag some things, because I want to save the last like 10 minutes for talking about drop off. And we all know I like to talk way more than I should. So let me like jump right into tagging some things for you. I have a ton of videos as well from last season on tagging. So you're probably, we're not going to have to talk about this quite as much, because I can just tag you guys into the last ones as well. But I've got a few things here. I have a girl's shirt. I want to talk about items that we can bring for the spring sale. We live in Michigan, y'all. So this is a lightweight, long sleeve shirt. I wouldn't even call it a sweatshirt. It's like really thin. Girls' athlete shirt. Totally appropriate for our spring sale. We live in Michigan. We all know that, in Michigan, even on summer nights, it gets cool. This would be totally appropriate for our spring sale. The things that we're going to say no to for our spring sale: heavy fleeces, like heavy winter jackets, winter boots, like snow boots, right? Those are going to be things that just sell better in the summer. But something like this is going to be fine. A limited quantity of jeans or long pants, perfectly fine, right? Those a lot of kids will still wear those in the summer. Definitely focus on your warmer weather clothes and keep out the cooler weather clothes that are like clearly for like peak winter, like the stuff we just left in February, right? So how do I tag, or how do I prepare? How do I do that step 4 of an item, right? Apparently this is mirrored, so I don't know if you guys really see this as a question mark or not. Somebody asks, so what about long sleeve, long pant pajamas, not fleece? That's fine. Yeah. So again, there's nights in June where if you've got the windows open in your house, it's dropping down to 50 degrees at night, right? So that's fine. I would avoid fleece. I would avoid fleece-footed jammies. Let's save all of those for our winter for sure. But I think we're all in agreement that kids probably wear long sleeve jammies in Michigan into, like May at least. And then probably again, like in September, right? So that's perfectly fine. And babies, babies tend to need to stay warmer, so they tend to wear longer, long sleeve stuff most of the year anyway. So, okay, I've hung my shirt and I've hung it with the coat hanger facing like a question mark. Everything at the JBF sale is going to be facing the same direction, which is why it's important that you hang your items so that when you're looking at them, they look like a question mark, okay? Not what it looks like on my screen to you if it's backwards, but so that when you're looking at them, they look like a question mark, okay? What that means then is that if I was wearing this is the left, right? So what that means is that the left side of the garment is always the side that's showing out on the rack, and the right side of the garment is up into the center of the rack where it's not accessible. So when you place your tags on your items, it's a good idea to put them over here on the left side of the garment. That way, as people are sliding our items up and down the poles on our racks, they can see your tag and they don't have to dig around in the racks to see, oh, how much is this thing priced? Good places to put your tag: here, Here is always fine if there's an actual physical tag. That's perfectly fine. Don't cross the midline and go over here to the right. So you can do here by the collar, on the tag, that's actually on the item. So remember, question mark, not like you see mirrored. Okay, I think that's probably Steven. You can put the item here. You can, you can put the tag here. You can also hang the tag from the armpit if you have a tagging gun. That's another good place. How do you attach this tag? You can do it several ways. You can do it with a safety pin. That's probably the simplest way. I have a gigantic box of safety pins here. If I can get it open. Oh, it's still taped shut. Hold on. So we ordered a ton of supplies for our first supply drop, and we're going to order more. These are safety pins from our supply drop. We got nicer ones this time around. They cost the same amount of money, and they're actually quite a bit nicer, so I'm pretty excited about that. They're just like sharper, so I am more confident that they're not going to like do any damage to our clothes. That's often something people like to talk about, do safety pins damage clothes? The answer is no, not usually. Safety pins, the holes that safety pins make in your clothes tend to wash out. On the occasion that they damage clothes, I often find it's because that garment is kind of on its last legs anyway, and the fabric is becoming less stretchy and pliable. So if you're trying to put a safety pin in a garment and you're feeling like a ton of resistance, the garment might be a little too worn out and it might be ready to go into the no thank you pile. Another reason that sometimes a safety pin gives you a lot of resistance is if it's huge. So we recommend that you use this safety pin. This is confusing. It's a number 2, aka 1.5 inch safety pin. Okay, that's the size that we recommend because these safety pins will go around hangers quite nicely, and they are big enough to get the job done, but they don't typically leave holes. Okay, so I have a tag. I'm going to put my safety pin in the tag, right? I'm going to get my item, and I'm going to just pin it right here. Okay, and because it's just a safety pin and it's a nice sharp one, I'm not worried about it leaving a hole in the garment. Okay, as I poked it in, I felt there wasn't resistance. The garment didn't feel like it was going to go. You always know, like when the garment's a little worn out, when you start to stick that safety pin in there and you feel a ton of resistance, and then you hear it go pop. That's not good. It usually means that it's leaving a hole, but a lot of times it's just because, like I said, like t-shirts that get too worn out and such. And so your tag is there on the item. Mine's crooked because I can't talk and do this at the same time. But there you are. Okay, so this would be hanging on our pole at the sale, right? This tag would be nicely visible for anybody who is shopping it. And this is a great little Athleta size 8 to 10. It's like super buttery soft too. A great item. And I'm sure somebody will buy it. So if you are worried about your safety pin, then, and I'm just going to show you now, right? So like I pulled that safety pin out, and I don't know if my camera will be able to focus on this, but no hole, right? It looks perfectly fine. We're good, right? We all agree we're good there. So safety pins are okay. If you're worried about it, if you're really worried about it, then I always recommend you aim for a seam, okay? Seams, they open up more easily, and so that's a great place to put a safety pin or your tagging gun if you're super worried. So I've got a seam on the inside of the shirt here, and I could just stick my safety pin into that. That's actually an inner seam. So then that safety pin's not even touching any of the outside fabric of the shirt. I could go into the neckline and do something similar. In the neckline, there's 2 layers of fabric, right? This is the outer layer of the fabric, the inner layer of the fabric. I could go in here and I could place my safety pin in here, go up here and stay just in the inner layer of fabric and put my safety pin in. And in all of those places, I'm going to be perfectly fine. This is an important concept when we're talking about tagging guns. And so I'm going to show you that next. You know what? I got to grab my tagging gun. These are the tagging guns that we have for sale with our supply meetups. These are $10. They have 5 needles and they have, I think it is 1,000 barbs in here along with the gun itself. And they're $10 a piece. So if you decide that you want a tagging gun, if you have tons and tons of clothes to tag, it will make your life a little faster, and we can get you one of these. I'm going to step away for 30 quick seconds and grab my tagging gun so I can show you what this looks like in terms of tagging it. Not even 30. Okay, so here is my tagging gun. I have a really fancy one since I do JBF all year long, right? This one is called like an extra fine needle. So mine might just look a little smaller than yours, but same deal. So when you're tagging clothes with a tagging gun, you're gonna go through the cardstock, right? And then you are absolutely 100% of the time going to go into the inside of the fabric or in a seam where there's going to be no damage to the garment. And the reason this is important is because tagging gun needles are different from safety pin needles. You will hear that pop even in a high quality garment because this tagging gun needle is big enough to where it's going to rip the fibers that this shirt is made out of, right? And that's horrifying when you're working so hard to try and prepare all your stuff and that happens to you. It is like the saddest thing, and I do not want that to happen to anybody. So I'm going to demonstrate for you on this shirt here what's the right and the wrong way to do it. This is a shirt that somebody gave me to prepare for the sale, and it's a really cool shirt, but it's a no thank you item because it's like a sport specific, school specific, like a tournament shirt, and this would be a great like hand me down for somebody else, but it's just not the right thing for our sale. So when you're using a tagging gun, 100% of the time, if there's a tag there, easy. It'll save you so much headache. Just go right through the tag, boom, and you're good to go. All right, so tag attached, okay? So for clarification, so when I first put the safety pin in on that Athleta shirt, I did not put it through one of those like special hidey places. I actually just put it through this like upper left corner right in here because the safety pin will not damage the fabric. And I'll even show you like just here on the sleeve, right? Like I can poke through here, just right into the fabric. That's perfectly fine. Do you see how it just like went in like butter? Like there was no issue there. It's because what it's doing is it's pushing between the threads of the shirt. It's not actually puncturing the thread of the shirt. The only time you see it puncture the thread of the shirt is when it's a really big safety pin, or like I said, that fabric is starting to lose its elasticity. Okay. And when I take this out, there's going to be a hole there for like half a second. And then even as I just like stretch and pull the shirt, the hole is gone. And that's because that it wasn't a true hole. It was just a spot where the fibers just kind of, or the threads just kind of opened for a minute and then they close back up. And even if you do see still like a little bit of a hole afterwards, when you throw it through the wash, they're gone. So safety pins, perfectly safe to go into the actual like body of the fabric as opposed to like in like a special place. If it makes you nervous, just go in a special place. Just go in a seam. It's no problem. So, okay, that was how we tagged the thing. All right. Other places where we would tag the shirt. Okay. If we didn't have a tag, if it's like that Athleta shirt that didn't have a tag, it's one of those like soft feeling shirts. I'm going to look for something like this inner collar, or even up here in the shirt sleeve, this inner seam right here. This is the money spot. This inner seam is a good one. I would go into there because I'm going to put a hole in that, but it's the inside of the shirt that nobody can see. So it's safe, right? Okay. And now my tag is going to sit up there in the top near the collar. So that works too. That's perfectly good. And if you look, the tag is like up inside the shirt. So here there's no damage or hole anywhere here to the shirt. My particular favorite place to go, I think it's the easiest. You be the judge of what works for you, is an armpit. Okay, so I would go in the left armpit because of how the clothing is going to hang on the rack, right? The reason I love the armpit is because this is what I like to call a four-way seam. I don't know what a seamstress actually would call it, but the sleeve is sewn together here, and then the body of the shirt, or like the trunk of the shirt, well, this is a t-shirt, so this is actually a three-way seam. Often there's like a seam running down the body of the shirt, and so there's a seam there too. But in this case, this is a three-way seam. So that the center of that three-way seam right there, like it's almost like the fabric like gaps there, and so you can stick the tagging gun needle in there and you won't make a hole. So I'm gonna put my tagging gun needle right in that little place where those three pieces of fabric came together. Okay, easy, in like butter. Okay, and now I'm gonna show you that. So do you see it's just in that seam, no hole, my tag's there, easy peasy, I don't have to worry, right? So 3 ways to tag a garment if you're going to use a tagging gun. If you have hundreds of clothes to tag, a tagging gun will definitely save you some time, and they're pretty affordable. If you have other items to prepare, I've got a couple more things I'm going to show you tonight. Shorts, pants, right? So your items are going to be sold with the hangers that they're on. Okay, you're not going to get those items back, or those hangers back. And so then the question becomes, well, what do I do about pants? Because I don't have 1,000 of those like little pant hangers, right? So I've got this little pair of baby swim trunks, and I'm going to grab my coat hanger. This is one of the metal coat hangers that we sell when we do our supply pickups. They're called juvenile suits. So they're actually like, they're metal, but they're actually like a little bit heavier weight than the ones that you get at like the dry cleaner. And they're 13 inches. So these are good for sizes like up to like 4T. And then I would usually recommend that you go to an adult hanger over 4T. You can always put a smaller garment on an adult hanger. I wouldn't use a kid's or hanger for anything over 4T, because a lot of the times like the shirts will start to like slip off and fall off, and that's a bummer, because then they just don't look quite as like nice and tidy at the sale. So how do you hang this? If you don't have pant hangers, you can use one of these. And what we're going to do is we're going to hack it with safety pins. We're also going to be super particular about where we hang this, guys, because we want your item to be nicely shoppable. And if you hang it in the wrong place, it just starts to look a little sloppy. So first I'm going to show you what's right. So this hanger has like the top shoulder parts and then this underbar, right? We always are going to hang pants from the two top shoulders. And I'm just going to use 2 safety pins to do this. Okay. So when I do pants, I like to try to pin into the inside waistband, because I'm OCD and I just really don't want there to be any holes in the garment. I've already told you safety pins aren't going to make a hole in the garment. I still do it like that just because I'm extra. So that's what I'm going to do. So I put 1 safety pin in there already. And then I'm going to take that other safety pin on the other side. Okay. So I pinned into the inside of the waistband. Okay. And I've pinned to the top, or the arms, shoulders of my coat hanger. And here's my little pair of shorts. Okay. And I'm good to go. I don't got to go buy special pant hangers. Safety pins are way cheaper. Now, why is it so important that I'm staying up here on the shoulders? Well, drop off was crazy, y'all. Let's say drop off was crazy, right? And these got jostled all over the place. And they're still there. I'm crazy, right? I'm the crazy one. We all know. These shorts are still up here, just like hanging perfectly. Okay. Now, if you safety pin this to the bottom, okay, to the bottom like rung, I don't know what we call that, the bottom metal piece of the coat hanger. Okay. Oh, it did it instantly for me. Look. Now, drop off was crazy, y'all. Or people were shopping like wild during the pre-sale, and they were sliding your item up and down the racks. And this is very often what happens. Your item looks like this. And if people are in a hurry or they're kind of busy, this is just not quite as pretty and appealing as it was the other way when you could see the whole cute thing, right? I would say we have to make it easy for our shoppers. So if your shopper has to like say, oh, something interesting there, but I can't really tell what, and they have to do the work to pull the garment out here like this, it's less likely that the garment is going to get purchased, or it's going to take longer, or the garment might not sell until the half price sale, right? So for pants, we always go up high because the natural bend in the coat hanger makes it so this can't slide around and it stays put, and the garment ends up looking really pretty and really nice. Okay, so how to hang pants at the sale. Do outfits go in a separate section on the floor, or do you just put them in with either shirts or pants? I'm trying to separate into piles for drop off. Yes, that is a great question, and I am going to answer that in our last like 5 minutes here. Okay, let me get through one more thing to hang. I'm going to run a little late tonight. We're probably going to go till about 9:40, but I think I didn't jump on until like 8:35 because we had one screaming toddler upstairs who would not stop. So I'm going to come right back to that. Onesies or anything that you want to bundle. How do I bundle stuff, right? So like it doesn't make a lot of sense to sell like a single onesie, right? Because they come in like 3 packs at the store. So if our place is like a department store too, then we want to be similar, right? So I've got 3 onesies here that are like all practically brand new, right? And I'm going to sell these in a bundle, right? I like to hang all my bundles. You may see some kind of older videos like on the JBF, like JBF the company's YouTube channel that show like ways to hang onesies in a Ziploc. You can do that. I think they sell better when they're hanging, and so I recommend that you hang them. So to do a bundle, you're just going to put one garment on the hanger, and then what you'll do is you'll safety pin the other hangers to the garment. The other items to the garment, right? So I've got my one onesie there. Okay, this is my front. I've got 3 in this case. So I'm going to take my back one that's got a cute little car, and I'm going to face him the other way because I'm extra. And so then when somebody looks at this garment and they say, oh, here's one, and then they flip it around, they see the front of the other one too, right? So I'm going to take my safety pins and I'm going to go wide on the shoulders of these, okay? Right through the fabric because it's a safety pin, and that's okay. This is going to be all right. All right. Okay. And then into the fabric of this one, and I can feel the hanger underneath there. Going to make sure I'm going to catch the hanger too to give this some extra support because that's going to make it just hold up better as people shop it. I don't really like safety pinning like one piece of fabric just into another because it'll kind of yank on the fabric and make it look droopy. So I make sure I get that coat hanger in there. And then it just looks better. So I've got that one. Okay, I'm doing this other side here. Safety pin in. Sorry. I want it to look pretty. Okay. Safety pinning through this side too. And there we go. Okay, so I have 2 safety pins here in the shoulders. The safety pins are over top of the bar, like the coat hangers in there. Okay, and then when you flip around, I have my other 2 onesies right there. And so I would make one tag for this, cut down on how much tagging I have to do. And this is why, guys, I like to do prepping and pricing backwards, right? So a lot of our stuff says that you price and then you prep. I like to do prepping and pricing backwards because I like to decide what are going to be my bundles, what are going to be my outfits and everything, and then everything's ready to go. And all I have to do is take that one hanger, and I know this is one tag, and I make that one tag in the computer, right? That's why. So now you know. So that's how you would do a bundle. You can do this with short shirts and pants, like tank tops and shorts. You can do a bundle of shorts. You can do a bundle of pants. You can do t-shirts. You can do whatever you want. I see one of the things I know people are always shopping for is like bike shorts for like toddlers and up, girls in the summertime putting bike shorts under their dresses. If you have a bundle of 3 or 4 bike shorts, put them all together and you can sell like that item, and you only have to make one tag for it, which is going to cut down the work that you have to do. A few other quick things, how to tag. If you have something new in the box, we recommend painter's tape because painter's tape peels off really nicely. And often people will purchase things new in the box as giftables, right? So we do sell the clear packaging tape for $1.25. So you can buy that to like do your sale prep. And if an item is new in the box, I recommend that you use painter's tape to attach the tag instead of the clear packing tape. You don't have to, but it just makes it look a little nicer. And then I think people are more likely to say, oh, I'm going to buy that and give it to somebody as a gift and not feel guilty that they bought it secondhand, right? Which they shouldn't anyway. I think we should normalize secondhand shopping and gifting. But everybody doesn't agree. If you have something like this laying around, this is 51 Avent breast milk bags. Okay, I know there's 51 because I counted them. And you should if you want to sell them. I'm going to put them all in a Ziploc bag and I'm going to make a tag that says 51 Avent breast milk bags. They're brand new. There's no reason you can't sell them, and then just price accordingly since they're not a full package. You can do something similar with diapers. If you have the leftovers of your diapers, say that you have a whole sleeve, say you have 25 or something that came out of a box that you don't know what to do with, you can sell those guys and they'll go like hotcakes. People love them. What else? I've got a plastic toy here. Okay. This is a really cute little VTech toy. I have to put batteries in him because his batteries are dead. All toys that need batteries should have those batteries for the sale. For this VTech toy, where do we attach the tag and how do we attach it, right? And this, there's some controversy. Do we use plastic tape? Do we not use plastic tape? What I will say to you is plastic tape is fine. It's helpful to be thoughtful about where you put your plastic tape as opposed to painter's tape, right? I would use plastic tape on this, and I would probably put my tag down here on the bottom because there's nothing down here that this clear packaging tape can damage, right? I don't want to put my clear packaging tape over the star sticker or these cute little puppy and cat stickers that are on the side of the VTech toy, because when I take that packaging tape that's holding my tag off of this toy, it's going to rip those. And now the toy's damaged, right? And people are going to be super bummed when they get this home that now they've taken the tag off, and just in the act of taking the tag off, the toy doesn't look new anymore. So be thoughtful about where you put your tags if you're going to use packing tape. You could use painter's tape. One of my favorite things to do, I didn't bring any out here. I'll do this for the next consignor party because, like I said, I was dealing with screaming kiddos upstairs. But one of my favorite things to do is to use cotton yarn. I specifically say cotton yarn. That's that really skinny yarn. You can buy it at the dollar store for about like $2 for like a little skein of it. And it works great for cutting off like maybe about this much and making like a loop that you tie your tag to. So I will take a hole punch and I'll just like punch out a hole here, and then I'll put my yarn through there. And it's like one of those like fancy tags at the fancy store that's like attached with like actual thread, right? And then I would take that and I would find some place on this guy that I was confident the tag was not going to come loose, and I would tie the tag with the cotton yarn. Actually, right around this propeller, I could totally, that you can't see it here, but there's like a place like around here where you could totally tie like your cotton yarn there, and then your tag would stay attached nicely. So that's a nice hack. That cotton yarn is like $2 and you could easily tag 500 things with it. It's just, you get a ton of it if you buy that at the dollar store. You could use painter's tape, like I said. You could even use a zip tie. If you have zip ties, that would be fine too. So there's lots of ways to tag plastic toys, and there's not necessarily a right or wrong way, excepting that you just want to make sure the way that you're attaching your tag to a plastic toy isn't going to damage it. The same thing goes for books. Painter's tape always for books, because this clear packing tape will 100% of the time damage the book. So I like to do, whenever I'm attaching things with painter's tape, I like to do like a big loop of painter's tape. If you do like a big loop that goes from one corner of the tag all the way to the other and stick that on the book, that tag doesn't go anywhere. It stays put. You can also just do like strips, like 2 strips, one on either side of the tag of painter's tape. And that's a great way to attach your tags as well. I would do something similar with this, like little blue turtle pull toy. I would probably take a loop of yarn, cotton yarn, or I would take a zip tie and I would attach it around the turtle's neck, just because he's precious. He's this J'adore brand, which is like a nice brand, a wooden like Montessori quality toy. And I would just not want the tape to damage any of the paint on his cute little body. So that is, those are some tips for how to do toys for stuffed items. We ask you not to bring generic teddy bears. I think in the guide it says like no basic plush toys. What we're talking about is like just ordinary teddy bears. Character stuffies are great. And then any type of interactive stuffy is great. This school bus needs his batteries changed as well, but it like makes music. It's got like a big music box down here. And you could just use a tagging gun or a safety pin to attach the tag to this stuffed little school bus anywhere that you wanted. Okay, we have a few questions, so let's see. What's the best way to package tag a DK sticker book that is brand new but contains stickers so that the kids at the show don't take or use them? Yeah, so that's a great question. I would put that in a Ziploc bag. I would use, if it can fit in a gallon Ziploc bag, I would use that. If it is too big for a gallon Ziploc bag, there are 2.5 gallon Ziploc bags. You can buy 13 of them at the dollar store. And I think last season I went to the dollar store and then I did a live video and I walked around and showed you guys all the supplies that I buy. I didn't even know that 2.5 gallon Ziploc bags existed until I started doing JBF, and they sell a package of, I think it's 13. Maybe it's 6. I can't remember, but you can get a bunch of them at the dollar store. And that's what I would do. I would put it in a Ziploc bag. And then if the Ziploc bag will probably be a little too big. So in that case, I like to fold over the extra edges. So like with this, I would like fold this and just take some clear tape and fold it over. And then you can put the tag right there on the outside of the bag, tape the bag shut, right? So yeah, Ziploc, perfect. We do accept cloth diapers, absolutely. Same quality standards as normal clothes, stains, rips, tears, all that. We want them to be good looking, but absolutely. And for cloth diapers, I would treat them almost like clothes. I wouldn't hang them, but I would just safety pin the bundle of them together. If it's a bundle of like 3 or 6 or whatever, I would just fold them tidy and put a couple safety pins in them, and we'll just put them in the display area with all of the diapers. Yeah, so okay, so we're over time because I can't ever shut up. So I am gonna leave you to accept Snuggle Me organic pillows. Absolutely. Yep, that would be fine. I would launder it. Yep, and then that would be perfectly fine. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap up with how you're going to get yourself set up for drop off. Okay, drop off is step 5, right? So we are working on our drop off experience. And I am going to give you the 10,000 foot overview and not details. Okay, you don't need details tonight anyway. You need the basics. Here's what you need to know about drop off for JBF Oakland County. And if you've participated in a different sale, a different JBF sale, you should understand drop-off looks different at different sales. A lot of that is related to staffing, how much help you can get at your sale, and also If you, um, like it depends on like how you're able to get stuff in and out. Like there's, so we're in an air pressurized dome, that we have an airlock for our drop off. And we have to be thoughtful about how much traffic flow we have going in and out of that airlock so that there's not a backup at the door. So everybody's drop off looks different, right? And it's usually just related to environmental and staffing. So for JBF Oakland County, what we'll do this year to make drop-off smooth and as fast as possible for you is what we call hybrid drop-off. What that means is that when you enter the building, in some order not yet specified, okay, you're going to complete the following tasks. You're going to drop your clothing off for inspection and stay there while it gets inspected, okay? Place your clothing on the floor where it needs to be placed. I'm going to come back to that part in a second. Then you're going to place your other items on the floor in drop zones. So if you have toys, you're going to place them at the drop spot for toys. You're not going to go place them all on the tables like individually, like you're putting your toddler toys here, you're putting your big kid toys over there. You're just going to put toys in drop zones. We'll have boxes with labels on them, and there might be like a little bit of like basic, like put the infant toys here, put the big kid toys there, but you're not going to have to go find the musical instruments and put your musical instrument toys in one spot and then go find the Barbie dolls and put your Barbie dolls in another spot. So we'll do drop zones for toys, for infant accessories, for books, for sports, for shoes. Everything excepting clothing is going to be what we call drop zones, okay? So as you're packing up your items, you should organize them according to our departments. And I'll post, it's going to be tomorrow, because my list of things I need to do is getting too long to get them all done tonight. But I will post tomorrow a general overview of the departments that our drop zones will include. So basically, bedding and decor is one. And when we say decor, we mean kids decor, not adult decor, okay? So bedding and kids' room stuff. Infant essentials is everything related to babies. The bottles, the breast milk bags, the burp cloths, the bibs, like all of that stuff, right? Infant essentials. We have clothes, which is where you're going to go and place your items on the racks for us. Toys, books, shoes, sports, and Mommy Mart. And then we have our large items area. And so then the other place that you will go during the drop off, if you are bringing large items to the sale, or high value items to the sale, is the large items area, where we will help you get yellow tickets for your items. And we will also complete any necessary safety inspection. We will have a table with a safety inspector at our large items area this year, completing a thorough safety inspection on the spot. We're going to be very diligent about safety inspections this year because as a reseller, we're legally bound to ensure that we do not sell recalled items. And the Consumer Product Safety Commission is completing surprise visits to pop-up sales this season. There's already been one of our sister sales out in California that got a visit from the Consumer Product Safety Commission during her sale, and she passed with flying colors. She was great. So it's super important that we're aware, not only do we say that we have a good quality standard, but that we're maintaining a good quality and safety standard. And so this season, you will see our safety inspector there at drop-off inspecting your things for safety, just to make sure that we don't miss anything. Then we'll do a second run through before the sale goes. When you come into large items, if you've got a large item, you're going to do your best to either attach your tag to your large item before you come, or to have it in your pocket and they're ready to go with you. And you'll get a ticket like this one. And what we'll do is we'll attach your ticket here. Okay. And it'll actually be cut in half. The top half will go up here and the bottom half will go down here. And this is a perforated like claim ticket. So this allows somebody to purchase your item without having to carry the whole big thing through the sale. And that's how we handle large items. Anything that is too large for a pregnant person to carry around our sale is going to go in large items. That's how we usually operate. Okay, so drop off. You're going to come in with your stuff. You're going to put clothing where it goes. Everything else is going to go in drop zones. There will be a safety inspection, which will be completed at drop off. We do clothing and safety inspection at drop off because we're a new sale and this is a new process for a lot of people. And so it gives us a really nice, warm and friendly way to talk to you about items that might be no thank you items, as opposed to you dropping your stuff off and then coming back at the end of the sale and finding a big pile of no thank you items and not knowing why they're no thank yous, right? So we really want you to develop a relationship with us where there's trust and where we're all on the same page. And we feel like by being able to be transparent at the front of the process and talk to you about ways that you can improve, like if there's something just has like a tiny little spot on it and we can like take a magic eraser and make it better, like right there on the floor, we're going to help you do that and get your thing on the floor. And you being part of that process with us and understanding what's a good item and what might have been a no thank you item and what was right on the border, and please bring it back for the next sale with this little change. That's helpful for everybody, right? And that's why we do our clothing inspection at drop off so that you can get that feedback. What we'll be implementing as well, for those of you who are like, oh, that's going to take a little extra time. Yeah, it's going to take like 7 extra minutes. But what we're going to do to make that a faster experience for you in the future is implement what we are calling the super seller pass. Okay. The super seller pass is this. Basically, you come in and we inspect your clothes. If you have 3 or less no thank you items after inspection that we say, hey, we can't take these ones, thank you so much, take them back. 3 or less, you get put on the super seller list. And if you're on the super seller list, then when you come back for our fall sale, you can skip clothing inspection and just go put yourself right on the racks, right? Because we have trust. We've mutual trust. We've been able to talk to you. You've been able to talk to us. We know we're all on the same page, and we're going to allow you to just go put your items right on the racks. Okay, that's called the Super Seller Pass, and that's what you're going to earn if your items are really high quality and are able to meet our quality standards after this first set of inspections. So I encourage you all to take that with you as you're processing your stuff. And know if you come to drop off and there's like 1 or 2 things that we say no thank you, like it happens every season. There's always, like, with the very best of intentions, that little spot on the sleeve that somebody didn't see, right? That just happens. And we're all human. We know that. So hopefully that helps you. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this last bit of time for people to ask questions for the next like 5 or so minutes. And if you like I said, like I can only see Facebook user. So if you want to identify who you are, go ahead. You don't have to, right? But it can help me if you have like a very particular type of question. I'm going to scroll back through and make sure that I didn't miss anything. So, okay, somebody asked about, this is the other thing I meant to ask. Somebody asked this question, and this is a really good question. Do outfits go in a separate section on the floor, or do you just put them in with either shirts or pants? I'm trying to separate into piles for drop off. I'm sorry that I skipped over this and didn't come back to it. So at drop off, when you are putting your clothing out on the floor, you are going to put it all out according to the size, the gender, and according to the category. Okay, so I will publish the categories for you tomorrow. Generally, 90% sure. I may add in a couple categories, but I'm not going to take any away. Generally, your categories are going to be tops, bottoms, outfits. Okay, so this should answer that question, right? And pajamas. All right, tops, bottoms, outfits, and pajamas. And for girls, dresses, right? So those are generally the categories. We'll probably also have what we call athletic and swim. Okay. And then we'll probably also have an outerwear. And what we mean by outerwear is like if you got a rain jacket, if you got a lightweight jacket that's appropriate for the spring and summertime, um, we will decide at the sale, whether or not we're going to hyper merchandise some of those things out. If there's like a low volume of things like rain jackets and lightweight jackets, then we might feature those on a rounder in front of all the clothes. If we have a lot of swim and it looks like, we need some space on the racks, we might pull that out and feature that on a rounder in front of the rest of the clothes, right? So some of those decisions kind of get made at the last minute as we're observing what the volume of stuff coming in the door looks like. We have to pivot. It's like the skill of pivoting is a skill that you have to have if you're going to do JBF. But generally speaking, you're going to have your clothes divided up into tops, bottoms, pajamas, outfits, and dresses for girls. And if there's any like crossover there, right? Like somebody asked me earlier today if I have an outfit and I can't do it. If I have an outfit and if I have an outfit and the outfit has a skirt, right? Then is it an outfit or is it a dress? And I say seller preference. Where do you feel like it's going to sell the best? We honor and respect that. Let's put it there, right? That's perfectly fine. And these decisions really at the end of the day, they're small potatoes and you shouldn't stress out too much about like, should I put it in dresses or should I put in outfits? Just pick a place. If it's a good thing, it'll sell, right? So don't worry about it. And then, like I said, I'll give you some more clarity tomorrow. We'll probably ask you to separate out outerwear and then like athletic and swim. Athletic would be like, at our sale, we have a sports section, but we're not going to put clothes in the sports section. So athletic would be like, do you have a pair of baseball pants? Do you have a leotard, right? That's, do you have like gym class clothes? Like, is it like a gym class, like t-shirt and shorts? Like that would be okay to put in athletic as well. That's another preference, right? Do you put it in outfit? Do you put it in tops and bottoms, or do you put it in athletic? Put it where it makes sense to you and based off of like how you hung it up. Did you bundle it or not? There's flexibility and you're not forced ever to, like if you have like a pair of pants and a shirt that look great together, like put them in an outfit, right? It's perfectly fine to sell them together as an outfit. Or to choose to split them up. Your choice always. And we'll try to help you with that as much as we can. Any other questions that I missed? Let me see here. Okay. Yes, we have category dividers for the outfits in these sizes. Yes, that person is right. And somebody asked, Kelly Marie, did you get an answer? So please let me know, Kelly, if you got an answer or not. And if you didn't, I will try to do better. But yeah, so that's how the sale is going to go, guys. It's going to be a great one. I couldn't be more excited. If you have any follow-up questions, post them in this comment thread. I go back after this is done and I time signature the different topics. So if you forget something or you want to review something that we talked about, you can always look in the comments threads and see where I've dropped a time signature that says at 20 minutes into this, we talk about how to hang clothes, right? Something like that. So, okay, guys, I'm going to leave that at it for our first Consigner 101 party. We will have 2 more of these, and every time we have another one, we'll get more, we'll talk about things that we missed the first time, and we'll have more clarity and more specifics for you as we get closer to drop off on exactly how that experience is going to look for you. All right. So I wish you all well. Happy tagging. And if you need anything this week, please feel free to reach out to me. And now I got to figure out how to turn this off.